Thank you for joining Do You Believe? This is a live broadcast, and I have my lovely co-host with me, Donna Raymond.
Yay!
And I'm your host, Norene. And we have our special guest, Reverend Terry Perkins. But before we start talking to Terry, Donna, would you give people a little information as to what's going on?
Oh, so I'm very excited. Tomorrow I'm actually heading over to Clovis to go do some filming at the Wolf Manor. So I'm really excited about that. I love spending time with Todd. He was just on our show last week, and it was a great show. So I get to go and do some filming over there. So I'll be heading out tomorrow and be back on Thursday. And then also I have upcoming classes, Ghost class, Incarnate class. So my website is DonnaRaymond.com. If you're interested in any of that, it's in Benicia. Also, Deb and Sisk and I are going to be starting Ghost Walk in Benicia as well on the 20th. And then we'll be doing it the first and third Friday of every month then on. So hopefully you can come and see that. That's on my website, so yay! DonnaRaymond.com.
Thanks, Dee. And so tonight we have a fabulous guest. It is Reverend Terry Perkins.
Yay!
Thank you for joining us. And an in-house guest. How lucky are we? Yeah. So, Terry, how do you like me to address you? Reverend Terry? 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 Okay. We made good friends within the last 15 minutes.
Very sweet.
Okay, Terry, would you please tell the viewers about yourself?
Yes, I am a psychic. I have a, clairsentient, clairaudient. I am able to see beings, and I also teach meditation techniques and classes, and I do the voodoo.
Woohoo! So when you say you see beings, what kind of beings? So people most people are thinking ghosts. But you see
I do see ghosts, and I see ghosts of not just people but also animals, and beings being entities. So spirit guides, sometimes even ancestral beings. So there's a little bit of everything.
What's an ancestral being?
Really, really old. Things that people would mistake as looking very, very scary, because beings will appear in different forms. So ancestral, they do kind of creep you out.
Do you acknowledge demons?
There's behavior that can be demonic. There are dark forces. So I say yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
But you don't use that term. That's
No.
very
What term do you use?
Dark.
Dark?
Yeah.
This is dark, and this does not serve you. Here is an entity, here's an energy, and here's an agreement around that energy that does not serve you.
So when did you find out about your abilities that you have?
Wow. Well, when I was a kid, I was able to see the dynamics going on between adults and give advice. And my mom would sometimes tell me to be
how
quiet.
old are you talking?
I would say, let's see, 6 and 7.
Did you realize what was happening to you? That you could see this happen?
No, I just thought for me it was just normal. I had my pretend friends. I had my grandfather who passed away when I was a year old. He used to also come to visit me. So actually I would say 4 is when it happened, because he would sit at the foot of my bed and talk to me. And it was just like we're talking right now, normal conversation. We would play with my toys, and my mom would come to my room and what are you doing? I said, I'm talking to the man. What man? I said, right there, that man. And she would look at me like, okay. And then a few times after that, she would ask a little bit more questions. And then one night she says, what does he look like? And I told her, I said, he's short. And I got up and said, he's like this tall, and he's sitting down, he's got a big stomach, and he has a white shirt on, and black pants, and black shoes, and no hair, he's bald. And that was her father. So,
wow.
Yeah. So she says, come sit with me. And I'll never forget that. And then, after that, I got very, very, I would get scared of my toys. My toys, because they would like I would see faces in the toys, so beings were coming through the toys.
Because they felt like that was a safe way to approach you.
Yeah, it was a safe way to approach me.
Oh,
You got
nice.
it. And so
But
that's when
you were still afraid.
Exactly, I was still afraid. It was like, what is this? So I turned my toys around at night. So I could play with them during the day, but when I went to sleep, I would turn them around. And then my grandfather, he wouldn't visit me a lot, but he did it enough to where I knew, like, I could trust this guy.
Are you the only one in the family that has that ability?
Yes.
So how come, why do you think you got it?
There's my makeup. Like anybody, when you have anything that you have, you come with it.
Do you scare the family with that?
No, but they're like, oh, please.
Oh, they don't believe you?
Sometimes. Like, my sister's more open, my brother, my mom is opening up, my dad is, he's accepting, like he knows there's more to life than just this, so.
So, and because of your abilities and you know you've seen spirit, you do believe there is a life, or we go on beyond
Oh, absolutely.
death.
This is unknown. This is temporary.
So what happens to us when we die?
You go back to spirit.
Energy?
You go back to energy. You go back to not having the body in you, and I believe also that we go back to our God seed.
We go home.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight we really want to focus on
Yeah.
VooDoo. Okay, so how did you get involved in VooDoo?
Now, how I got involved in VooDoo when I was 27. I had these dreams. I'm always in dream time. So I had these dreams that were really, really intense, and I had this little boy would come and show me like the forest, and he would show me the jungle. We always went, it was always like the earth and nature. And I said, what is this? And then we would come to a crossroad. And then he would say, which way do you want to go? And then I would pick, and then sometimes he would trick me, no, we're going to go actually this way. So like sometimes we would take the right path, but then he would spin the road, and we end up taking left. And then we had this great time. So I was like, this is weird. And they were very, very vivid, just like they felt like they were here, real time, body time, physical time. And I had a friend who was also very, very psychic, and he says, you should really check into like African religion, and like VooDoo. And I was like, huh? And my whole thing, that just blew it. It was like, please, I'm not gonna do no VooDoo. All the judgment around it that I had growing up in the Christian church. So I was like, oh no way. And
so before you grew up Christian?
Oh yeah, hardcore fundamentalist.
Okay, yes. Interesting.
So this is polar opposite.
Yeah.
So I'm equal to them. So I went to this store. I was living in San Francisco at the time, and there's a store called Sticks, Stones, and Bones. So I went to check it out, and the owner of the store happened to be there. She was working the store by herself, and I remember walking in and feeling, to use her word, home. I was like, oh, this is familiar. I was like, oh my God, this is kind of cool. And I told her what had happened. I said, I've been having this dream, and I was referring to her, and I really didn't know what I was doing, but I'm here. I'm open. I said, so whatever you need to do for me, I'm willing. And so she made a necklace for me. And I remember she says, you take this necklace, she says, I'm going to dress it for you. So dress it was she blew some cigar smoke, and then she had sage, and she had a candle, and then she had Florida water, this cologne. And then she says, and she put it on me, and she said a little prayer for me, and then she patted it. She says, I want you to cover this and wear this for the next 3 nights, and pay attention to your dreams. I said, okay. And so I did. And my dreams were nothing compared to what I had before, because now this little boy would morph into this really old man, and then he would have on a red hat, and then he would be talking to me in Africa. I knew it was African. I just knew it was, but I could understand it, but I couldn't repeat what he said, but I knew the information he was giving me. And we would do the same thing. We would be walking, except now there were people. So the dream got more detailed and involved. Before it was just open space, and now there were people and there were cities. And then we would just walk, and he would be pointing things out, like we would see a scene play out, and he would describe what was going on, and then how I can learn from it. And I thought, oh wow, this is like crazy. So the 3rd day, I went back, told her, hey, the necklace is working, whatever you did, blah, blah, blah. And that's when she said, you should just, you ever think about voodoo? And I said, no. As you can see the judgment on my face, like, are you crazy? And that's what started it. That's really how it got going.
So how long ago was this?
This was, oh Lord, before it's 20, yeah, it's over 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
Yeah.
And you do practice voodoo?
I practice it, but I don't practice it with the animal rituals. I don't do the bloodletting, and so that part I don't do. And I also don't do the black art side of it, which is very, very polluted, which is what a lot of people have their misconceptions about it. It's actually very, very beautiful. It's not really a religion, it's really a way of life.
Okay, so voodoo, it came from Africa and it went into Louisiana. Now I understand that there's an African voodoo, there's a Louisiana voodoo, and there's a Haitian voodoo?
There's all kinds. It's like with any other religion, there's different sects of it. So some sects, they do have, like with Santeria, you're getting more into, the Puerto Ricans, so that part of the world. And you have to remember too, the slaves, they bought the knowledge and the wisdom that they had with them. So they didn't have...
The African slaves, they came, when they came to Louisiana.
Yep, when they came to Louisiana, that would be the port of calls. So they would be Puerto Rico first, and then it would hit Louisiana, and then the same thing is true of Cuba. So those areas, they are very, very heavily saturated with voodoo. But the term voodoo even, there was no such word as voodoo. It's actually voodoo, and what it means is earth. It's the worship of the earth. It's elementals. So it's that basic.
Well, why did they call it voodoo?
That's the bastardized Western.
Oh.
That's it.
So, okay, so in Africa, do they still do voodoo?
They do voodoo. So it's voodoo, yes.
Okay, they
yes.
do.
So yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so all I know is the African, the Louisiana, and the Haitian. Now, all three of those, do they all do it the same way?
No, and that's the thing. Everybody is different, and then within those countries, and don't forget you got Cuba, you also have the Dominican Republic, you have the Caribbean, you have that whole band, and then heavy back east, you have Santeria.
Back east?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
On the East Coast?
Oh yeah. That's why I actually was, I worked with and studied with Bernadette Cozart, who was a priestess of Oya, your mom, who guards the cemeteries, and then Ogun, who's a god of war. So she was initiated into the Yoruba religion, which is where voodoo comes from. So that's the most common belief.
So, all right, so why did they do voodoo?
Because again, it's a way of life. It's just a way of honoring the earth. Because don't forget, you have tribes, you have nomadic tribes, and you have your communal systems and whatnot, and it's just what's been done. And really what it is, they have their fairies, they have their gnomes. Every culture, if you look at it, they all have that.
Now, is it the same? Is it the same fairies and gnomes as like I associate with, or are these different?
They're going to vary. Some are different. Some are mischievous, just like the nymphs. Like the nymphs are a little mischievous, and then you have those that are more like technology and whatnot, and then you have the ones who are about fertility. So it's the same thing.
Okay, so this is not a religion. This is more a way of life.
It's a way of life. It's like the Balinese. If you go to Bali, especially if you go out into like the jungles and the forest, you see offerings of flowers, plants and food on trees, on rocks and whatnot.
Okay, so they're offering flowers and trees, but they're not offering the animals.
They may do it in some of the rituals, and that's another thing too. Is a lot of cultures, a lot of countries on the planet, the animal is offered as a ritual. And as a sacrifice.
But why? Why do they have to?
It's because that's the old energy. That's the way that it was done. So when you had a problem and then the priest would say, okay, I'm going to help you, but you need to bring me a chicken, or you need to bring me a goat, or whatever it is, depending on the problem in the situation. And that's your sacrifice. So that's your money. That's your gift.
Oh,
Okay, so it was like a payment.
You got it.
Okay,
Absolutely.
all right.
So just like when we charge for a reading, we charge to do a clearing. The sacrifice, what is your sacrifice? What are you going to give me because I'm providing you a service?
So there wasn't money, so we used the animals instead.
Yep, not everybody had cowrie shells, which is what money was used for back then too, as another thing too, so it was trade. So that was that.
And they were all poor, so is that why they used?
No, not necessarily poor, it's just how it was, and the blood, it was the blood of that animal, that was the energy.
So the life force.
So it's a life force, a che. So whenever you hear the term a che, that's a che. So it's life force. And this is, you can also equip this to, if you go back into the Bible, in the Old Testament, the tabernacle. The glory of God was in that tabernacle. Nobody could touch that tabernacle. Nobody was allowed anywhere near it, as far as like, if it was, I don't know if you know the story, but if you look at the story, there's a guy who reached out to save it because it was going to tilt over, and then he got struck dead because it held the glory of God. And the rule, the law was you don't do that, because that was the energy for Israel. The same thing is with animals. The energy of the planet and of the sky god of nature is in this animal, which walks on the earth, which provides nutrition, which also is the sacrifice. So therefore it's the life force.
Okay, now I've seen, when I was kind of searching this out to put a banner together, I saw pictures of the VooDoo religion, and they were all dressed in white.
Yes.
Then I saw other groups where they're like dancing all around and falling on the ground. So what's
Again,
that?
different sects doing this, so it just depends on where you go. The dancing on the ground, that's going to be the more Haitian. So that's because they worship, it's not so much that they worship, but they give honor and respect to...
But they look like they're going in a trance.
Yeah, a lot of them do.
Oh,
They're
they
possessed. Yes. There could be possession, absolutely.
Oh, really?
So you go to a tambour, for instance, so the drumming is a circle. You get dressed in your white, and then you dance to the orishas, and the drummers play to the orisha. And so they call out the orisha. So you start off with the leg boy, he opens the door. The leg boy's the old man and the little boy at the same time. And he opens the roads, and he also closes the road. So you start and you end with him, and then you go to a batala.
So is he like the guardian of the road?
Yes.
Okay, and do you know why he is both old and young?
Different schools.
Okay.
So some say he's a little boy, the mischievous, like little trickster, but he also has that divine wisdom. So he's an old man at the same time.
Okay.
And he can also be the old man who also uses his words to also trick his student into getting the lesson.
Oh, okay.
So the communication, so he's a great communicator. In the tarot, he would be the magician.
Okay.
So,
now what
the
about
person of that.
a witch doctor?
Same thing, that's going to be like your Babalao, which is your high priest. Santero would be another term for another priest. So a witch doctor really did help to create healing remedies. Now as far as like doing the really dark side, that again, that came from people just coming in, your random acts of craziness. But that is not the way. It is not common to go to see a witch doctor to put a spell on your neighbor because they're doing something. That's not what VooDoo is about. VooDoo is peace.
So
It's
why
peace, grace, and
have
gratitude.
we, in the movies and everything, made it into this scary, dark thing?
Because
That's all we know over here.
because that's how the media is. This is also was proven even before we had media with Madame Laveau, the most famous voodoo priestess in New Orleans.
She used to dance a lot, huh?
Yep, so she did her dance and she did the feast of John the Baptist, and you're right, because that's what she did. So she would dance, she would do her little ritual.
Yeah, she was beautiful.
And she was beautiful, yeah, she was
She
great.
was with somebody once, and I said, "Oh my God, she's gorgeous."
Yep.
Wonderful.
She had a daughter too who also practiced, and she brought voodoo in to a crowd, okay, through this crowd of white patrons, because she was Creole. So,
Right.
here she is, she has some privilege, she was also born a free woman, and then here's this woman doing this crazy ritual, oh my God, so it was entertainment, it was spectacle. And then it was like, oh my God, the devil, and then so that's what did it. So what's that saying, if it doesn't look right, shoot it. basically what's happened to voodoo.
So there are you things then that religion, and I'm not downing religion, but religion, Catholic, these just crazy, who've always come in and determined what was proper and what wasn't. That they came in and said, no, that's got to be of the devil because you're on the ground, you're writhing about, you're dancing, you're happy. You got to get rid of this because you need to suffer for your religion.
That's right. And this too, it doesn't fit our code, doesn't look right, doesn't smell right, doesn't taste right. Ooh, I don't know. Nope, you got to go. Boom.
Okay, well, what's this thing about you can get a picture of somebody and then you put it in a box under your bed and it does something to them?
This is all faking it.
Is that superstition?
This is all superstition, which is based on fear. Superstition is based on fear.
Okay, what about those dolls? They get a
Same
doll
thing.
and they put the pins in. Does that work?
That is not voodoo.
Does it work? What is that?
It's not voodoo.
It's not voodoo. That's not voodoo. To me, that's voodoo. Voodoo is the hoodoo part. That's the dark stuff that people are thinking, oh, that's what happens when you do that. No, not at all.
Does it work?
I don't think it works.
So then we also have what we've seen as people turned into zombies.
Exactly, that's another thing too.
And they say there are cases out there where they've come and they've seen these people, but I think it's more of something that they ingested, not.
Yes, it is. It's an herb. It's an herb that they take.
Okay.
Zombies are people. They do exist. They're probably your neighbor. It's probably your sister, your brother, your mother, your aunt, who are walking around, totally giving their bodies over to who knows what.
But there's a
That's what a zombie is.
Coming.
When you're not thinking, if you don't think for yourself, if you leave it up to your, and I'm not going to make an excuse or apologize, you leave it up to your church to decide what is it that you believe and think and do, and you are basing your life on what everybody else is doing, you're a zombie. Sorry.
But I thought a zombie was somebody that,
again, dead died and then they got raised back up.
But they weren't real, like, there was a famous case, was it Haiti, where they buried the guy and he was still alive?
From the serpent and the rainbow. But it is an herb.
Yeah,
it's an herb that you take. It's an herb that you
kind of puts
ingest.
you into a trance type of state.
And then you go very
so he wasn't really a zombie.
Well, but he didn't, I guess, couldn't you suggest to him and he would do things?
Yes, because it's the herb, because you're intoxicated. You're under, it's like an induced coma, that's all it is.
So we have these movies now, like The Walking Dead. Oh, I'm sorry, because The Walking Dead, they had a disease. But, okay, so they do movies that, people, they die, I don't know why they died, and they come back and they're walking around and, oh, give me blood, give me blood.
Yeah, that's a zombie, this is
that
what
the same as a voodoo
This is what
zombie?
they're equating with the serpent and the rainbow. Everything you're talking about is based on that case. That's from the serpent and the rainbow.
Yeah,
the guy who wrote that.
That was it. If you ever seen it, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But again, it's like, what? What are you talking about?
So
this has nothing to do with voodoo. Right. Nothing at all. And remember, you have slaves who are being taken away as children. A lot of them, most of them as children. So they grew up knowing certain rituals and certain rites, right? Rites of passages, and also certain rituals and their belief system. So when they come over here, it gets diluted and it also gets polluted because they have to hide the fact that that's how they worship. So this is when I don't know if you ever heard the term synchronicity.
Yes.
So when you look at the Catholic Church, a lot of the people who do practice voodoo and Santeria and these other names that they call it, they can equate. Like Obatala, they equate it with one of the Virgin Marys, and then you have the same thing with Ogun, and then all of their saints were equated to what the Roman Catholic Church was telling them to believe, and so then it got think about it. Then now you have this whole new layer. You got to go underground, and then in order to worship, you're going to do it. You're really going to be doing it, but you're using this saint in front of you now that you're told is this, and then. That this energy is what is the truth. But in your heart of hearts, oh no, this is a lot. This is how I believe. And so that's how people were worshiping. And that's what happened with voodoo. So it just got polluted and it got diluted. And then again, you had people coming in and they contribute their take on it, and then it becomes the norm. Then it becomes a part of the ritual.
Okay, now Kat, our moderator, just asked, Oh, it's from Ruth. Okay, the thing is, she's saying, is there any evidence that voodoo really works? But voodoo is a religion.
Again,
It's not a religion, it's a way of life.
It's a way of life.
Yes, voodoo, and it's a way of life, and it does work because it really is about creating peace. So it really is about positive energy, it's about abundance, it's about giving to your fellow man, it's about community. It really is, it's a community. And it's also getting your spiritual, you go to your priest for spiritual advice.
Okay, so
much like what we do.
I wasn't concentrating. Okay, so when you said people will go to these.
Yeah, to the priest.
Okay, and they'll bring they'll say they need a chicken or whatever. Mm-hmm. Why are these people going to them?
Because that's their leader. That's how the world is set up.
But they have a problem or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like the clients that I get.
And so the higher, the stronger their problem, the bigger the animal?
No, that's another thing too. No, not always, no. Sometimes it's just a matter of, you need to do this, or you need to change your mind about what you're doing, the same way I would give advice. Like, I don't tell everybody who comes to me, oh, you need to get a candle and go get a chicken, and, you need to simply stop looking at your life the way that you are, because this is why you're in the state that you're in. Your attitude needs to change. You need to come from a grateful attitude. And that's the same thing that you would get from a priest.
So what are some of the superstitions of voodoo?
Oh my God, like a lot that you mentioned. The whole thing about zombie. If you don't act right, you're going to be turned into a zombie.
Curses.
Yeah, curses. The whole thing about curses. And that's not a part of it. It's just not a part of it. There are things that you do to protect yourself. But as far as curses and stuff, putting a dead chicken in front of someone's door, and the kind of atrocities you hear about, like the woman who she believed that her daughter had a demon in her, so she was going to exorcise her. So she put a plastic bag over her head and asphyxiated her.
Oh my God. What? Sounds like she was possessed.
Yeah, exactly. And zombie, there's another zombie.
Yeah.
So right there again, not taking responsibility and really separating, what reality is versus, to what this crazy belief is. And, the daughter passed away, so. Yeah, so that would be one. Another thing is love spells, your potions and things like that. There's only divine time. That's all there is. And love is all there is. And that really is what VooDoo is really about.
So
VooDoo is completely different.
Who are these people then? And I've never seen one, but I hear about them like in Louisiana, and where you go in and they give you these potions. Is it just a touristy thing?
It's a touristy thing. It's a touristy thing, and it's also, again, that came about in Louisiana as well. That all originated there. That was what Madame Laveau was famous for, because she would do these potions. So in order to get more money, she would tell her clients, who were very, very wealthy and white, and their slaves, she would, give them a little, this is what you need. I'm going to protect you. Not unlike, look at the gypsy psychics. Do the same thing. You go see them. Here's my problem. And you give them the $25 or whatever it is. Next thing you know, I need $1,200. I'm going to give you some crystals and I'm going to say a prayer for you. What?
Yeah, you need to go
I get crystals anyway. Thank you. I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay, Ruth again is asking, do the voodoo priests cast spells similar to witches?
There's no difference between a voodoo priest and a witch. And neither of them are, they're not negative. Witch is Wicca.
Right.
Yeah, so no.
So a true voodoo or voodoo, am I saying that?
Yeah, voodoo. They wouldn't do it.
This is not, yeah. So all these other people out there, are they basically just trying to make money, trying to...
They're making good money.
So...
and it's like high style and profile too, so it's like, I got this power. The thing is, what power are you really working with? That's the ego at work.
Yeah.
Because you're controlling people. And you're scaring them, you're breeding fear.
It's that fear.
Exactly, and why you gotta have fear and shame to hook someone in, when all you need to do is show them the way, hey, here's light. Here's light and love. That's what it's about. Very, very clear.
Does anybody ever come to you about doing voodoo?
Yeah, I've had people ask, yeah. And I tell them, there's books they can read, like my books here. So I have,
I don't think you really promote that much, do you?
No,
I just happen to know.
No, I don't.
I just happened to see one of your photos.
I have it on my Facebook. But, that's about it.
Terry doesn't have a shingle out for voodoo.
So here's Santeria. So the religion, this is excellent. This is a really, really good book.
Santeria, the religion.
And now, is Santeria, Devin said that's Latin? Is that
Yes,
Latin?
it is, absolutely.
Can you see that?
Smart, Devin.
Yay, Devin.
Smart man, you.
Thank you, thank you. And the Santeria is what I am the most familiar with. As a Santeria, there's where you really get a lot of the lines crossed. This is where you really get some of the dark. And so I always like tell people, just make sure that you're always comfortable doing what you're doing.
That it fits for you. A lot of people try to take things on that they're just not wired for.
Exactly. And it's not for everybody. And that's the other thing too. The thing to do is to find, I would say, find your most comfortable root base for your belief. That's what I believe.
Now, what do you mean root base? Kind of explain
That's
that.
going to be, well, if you have really strong Catholic roots, then that's your base. That's your point. And for me, it's the psychic world. So I love the Orisha. They came to me. Oh my God, let me tell you about the Orisha are those are the saints.
Oh.
So those are the energies that you're working with.
So they're like saints, like Catholics would have saints.
You got it.
Okay.
Exactly. And just like even the Celts, they had their gods, they had their pantheon, and so did the Greeks. And this is what's beautiful about it. It is no different than anything else that's going on the planet. It's how you perceive it, and it's also the stories behind it, and the legends, and the myths. And the thing to do is just to when you move them away, you find that all religions are pretty much the same.
Are any of these voodoo priests, are they any of them psychic as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, because they read the shells. So the cowrie shells. And then they also use the Opele chain.
Oh, no.
So what this has is, these are coins, these are African coins on the red piece of rope here. And then what I do is I'll shake them, and then I cast them. And then if I get, I don't know if they can see, but if I get the star here, I know to make one mark on the paper. And if I have the other side, which doesn't have a star, but it's still ornate, right here, this one here, so this one here, then I would mark it twice. So it'll be 1/2/, and then I follow it. And you read from right to left. And then what you do is you go to your book.
You read for me?
Yep.
Is that like fortune
So just like
or tarot reading?
It's like tarot reading, but it's also, for me, it's also like with the cards. I really don't need the cards, but they're for showmanship, pretty much, really, to be honest with you. And then some people also are really into having symbols. So that's when the cards are really, really good. The same thing here. So those, what they call scratches, those marks that you make, they symbolize one of the saints who's going to give you the lesson, give you the word, just like you do when you have your cards. So the same thing. You have
So
your
what kind of
signs and your
cards are
symptoms.
those?
This is a VooDoo deck. This is the Orisha deck. And this is out of Brazil. And they're beautiful.
They are
Love
beautiful.
these. Intense. And I don't use them a lot because, again, I would have to spend a good hour or two, like we're doing tonight, explaining that VooDoo is good, and I don't read these cards, it's okay. Yes, just relax. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Like here's your mother. So she's the wind, she's the storm, she's the keeper of the cemetery, so she keeps the cemetery nice and safe. You also help people to, pass, you help the dead you give them direction. And that's what she is.
She's wonderful.
Okay, now again, what do they read
And
the
then you use the shells as well.
I can't see the shells.
Now with the shells, you have your cowrie.
Right there.
Okay, so on the shells here, we have here the teeth. So this means the mouth is open, and then the other side means it's closed. So when you cast the shells, same thing. You're going to do this, cast, and then I count how many mouths are open. So in this case, there's two.
Can you do that for Norene? Could you do that for Norene?
So is that like a
Let's do it for
reading?
Norene, yeah.
So you're reading.
You don't have to give your age for this.
No, absolutely not.
I'll do it as long
Oh my
as you
God.
want to know my birthday.
I know it.
Oh my God.
I know for you. And if you give me big bucks,
Oh, there you go.
I will tell you.
And 3 chickens.
Oh, it's not my cat.
No French, because you get the blue eggs.
Okay, French. I love it. I want pretty chickens.
So we're going to read, this is the female path, by the way, too. So the shells are female path. I don't want to give away too much because then it's going to turn into 18 shows. But the female path here is read with the shell. So this is what women were traditionally allowed to read. So the priestess and the women. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it says 5. So that's Oshun. So then we go here, African oracles in 10 minutes.
Nice. Oh, it's like in 10 minutes.
Awesome. This guy is the bomb.
Who
You want to get a book? This is at R.T. Kaiser. Awesome.
R.T. Kaiser.
Beautiful.
African oracles.
In 10 minutes.
So this teaches you how to do that?
Absolutely.
Oh, did you read something?
Not yet.
Oh, how many?
They're difficult. Very enjoyable.
Hold your horses. Oh my God. Oh, this is cool. 6, so you have 5 and 6. So you have Ocean and Obra. So then we go to the book, and then we look up 5 shells, and then we also have it here. And this is going to give us our reading.
Awesome.
And then you have a bonus as well. So,
You got a bonus.
here we got bonus.
Girl, you are special.
How do they get the bonus?
Because you
Used all your coupons and hours at a time.
5 goats. Okay, now here we go. So now we have the 5 shells. And in this case, it is the Orisha here. Oh my gosh, I have my glasses
They
on.
can't see it.
Woo! I gotta get my glasses on. So we have Oshay. So this is Oshun, and this is one of my saints. Oshun is she's synchronized in Catholicism with Mary of Caridad. She's also the Satron Paint of Cuba. So this is what this is.
Is she that really strong one?
She's very, yes.
Yeah.
Very strong, yes. So she's considered the mother of magic. All right. I have my glasses. Oh, yeah.
Did you bring them with you?
I did, I don't know where I put them. But here we go. So 5 shells. Here we are. So here's your strategy. And there's also different categories. You have your strategy, you have money, and you have love, you have work, spiritual questions, and you have your destiny. What would you like?
Destiny. Oh, destiny.
Yeah, your destiny, girl. Destiny's always cool. Okay, so destiny. Oshun, the spirit of the flowing river, because she is the goddess of the river. She's also synchronized with Kuan Yin. Okay? So there we go. And also Isis. Okay? So, as the spirit of the flowing river, she says you are her child. As such, you are linked inextricably to the tides, the currents, and the cycles of the moon. The rhythm of the universe is yours. As a result, you are deep, dark, sensuous, and even erotic. Ooh! Just be careful not to mistake love for sex. Be careful not to confuse sex for love. Use your physical wiles and women's intuition with care, even mindful of the heart you might break. Okay, though your way is already charted for you, as it is for all rivers, because don't forget she's the goddess of rivers, you will get to your destination only by flowing along little by little. So in other words, don't ever be in a hurry. Just take your time. You always get what you want. Okay? And then go with the rhythm of the world around you. Let the forces of nature steer you on your true way. That's why take your time. You always want to make sure that what you're doing, you're comfortable and it's clear. That's your path. That's your truth.
Are you listening to this?
Your destiny has its highs and lows. It's floods and droughts. But in the end, you get to where you were meant to flow.
This is good for you.
So that's Oshun. So now we go to 6, destiny. Now here we have Python, Obra. So this is Oshumayer. Now, here, destiny, Python, the spirit of the rainbow, says you are his child. This is totally you. As such, you are intimately linked to the sun, the moon, the clouds, the stars, and all things that appear in the sky or fall from it. You can be constant, true, and perpetual, but you can also be wispy, elusive, enigmatic, and changeable. As a result, you can be easily hypnotized. Be careful that you are not taken in by superficial appearances, mirages, or illusions. You are drawn to beautiful but transitory things, as you totally are. I can totally see that. Your history is intense. Never show. And then, but your true happiness comes from appreciating the random moments of joy, which pass all too soon. Your destiny comes from above, at the hand of the Almighty God. Pray and your wishes will be addressed, sacrifice and your desires will be assured. So how's that evil? That's
wonderful.
Beautiful. And now here's your bonus. So now we go to the 5-6. I love this book. This is like just the bomb. Okay, here we are. O'Shea Obera. This is the combining of the two. So this is what they're singing to you. Okay? With O'Shea falling first and Obera falling next, we have found O'Shea Obera, the passionate cause. Here you've been doing it. This VooDoo says a blessing will come from righteous devotion to a cause. Beware placing your trust in ephemeral or transient things that will betray your confidence in the wake of their passing. Avoid fads. The best cure for what ails you is to take social responsibility, which is what you're doing. This is a great format. You're sharing spirit with the world. And come to the aid and assistance of others, which is what you're doing. It's totally what you're doing. You're helping people. You're giving people back to themselves. That's what this work is about. What Donna does is she gives people and spirits who no longer in the body back to themselves and sends them home. You send them home and you give them their resting place, and then you hold that space for them. And then she helps those who are left and grieving to have sacred space to do that and honor. You, by doing this vehicle, by being on the airwaves and through the media, you're also bringing attention to that, to awareness that this is real. So there's your VooDoo.
Wow, fabulous.
Nice.
Very simple. It's very, very simple. So this is what you would really get from a Bible. They have little books. Some have, my first reading was with this little thin book, and I was told you need to do this cleanse because you're about to embark on a new journey, and it's going to be very, very spiritual, and you have money coming, and this time the money is going to stick in your pocket.
Wahoo.
And that was years ago, and it totally happened. Okay. So do you want, what would you like? Destiny, spiritual, work, love, money?
Money.
Money? Okay, cool. Let's do money. And then with Oaken Ran, and then we have the Santeria, we have the Ife number, so 6 associated with it. So again, like a tarot card. Mm-hmm. And then you have the shell, so 1 shell, and then shot and go, which is you, public speaking. Okay, so with money, what's in it for you? A money-making opportunity, but you'll have to strike faster than lightning. What will you get? Cashed in or cashed out? An investment may be undertaken or alternatively abandoned as you suddenly see the light. Action is required. The operative idea here is speed. Financial change comes rapidly when this VooDoo appears. So this is excellent. Now, it doesn't mean necessarily, too, that this investment, again, like it says, are you in or you're out? So it's like, ship pissed goes about, what are you going to do? So it's like you're setting an opportunity. Do you want to seize it or you want to wait for something else to show up? Whatever you do, you need to do it quick because this opportunity is going to go fast. Okay. So this will be equivalent to the 8 of Wands. Okay. So there's a lot of energy in your space, and there's a lot. And what I see, now this is where you get I would say the psychic part, because I see pictures and whatnot. And so what I see is if you take this opportunity to put this creative, because it's a creative, something with your hands that you're doing with your hands that you want to do more of, it'll really pay off. Okay. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right, so then we have O1 Rin. Right here. So O1 Rin. And then Ether Link. I don't know if they can see this.
I don't think they can.
Probably not. But what it has is little categories here. So it has the African name, and then it has the Ether rank, which is where Yoruba VooDoo is from, and it's number 8 in this case. And then we have the American name, and I found out my glasses. I can't believe I'm reading this. Ojawani Choba. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes there's even a Native American Indian name sometimes that will show up, because this is all mixed in there. So beautiful mix. And then here we have the figure and Aaron Den Logan. Mm-hmm. And then we have Owakan La. And that's the name of the shell, which is 11. So these when you break it down to the shells, it equals 11. And then again, the spirit is Oshun. Okay. So you have double Oshun. So that's pretty awesome. And then here with money, what's in it for you? You'll get paid for doing something you like to do. What else will you get? What else will you like to have, my friend? You can always figure out how to live on what you make. Would you rather be poor and happy than rich and distressed? Granted, it's all possible to be rich and happy. But before you chuck it all to the gold, or chuck it all for the gold rather, review your finances and see if you can swing it. So again, it's like hedge. Do what you can and then hedge. See what happens.
Okay.
So just invest enough and then see if you get a return. If you get a return, then you know you need to keep going.
Awesome.
If you see the trend, and more importantly, if you feel it in your gut, and you start getting those images and those pictures that say total opposite, then you know, I'll take what I have and then I'll go invest somewhere else.
Awesome.
Okay. Awesome. And now we read 01 Ren, so you get the bonus as well. Bonus, she's special. Okay, 01 Ren. And then I'll read these real quick. Okay, here we are. 01 Ren. And this is 01 Ren's family. So again, but the male path is a little different.
Okay.
Okay. They want in the man who talks to angels, I think that's Ron. He wants to know what book are you reading from? He came in late.
Oh, this is R.T. Kaiser, African Oracles in 10 Minutes. And it is fabulous.
And who wrote the book?
R.T. Kaiser. R.T. and then K-A-S-E-R. He's author of Tarot in 10 Minutes.
Okay, sorry.
What happened?
Oh, some big energy just flew away. Alright. Yeah, somebody just came into our chat and
Hit you right here.
yes.
God.
Actually,
yeah.
her too. It always hits me. Okay.
Stop that. There we go.
We know who you are.
01 Ren's children who are always getting into trouble. 01 his children, oh my God, are inclined to seek the advice of the oracle and then ignore it. Then they do not always sacrifice as they should, and this only compounds their problems. Still, having learned from their own experience, they shall know why. They shall know by now what the solution is. Oh my God, that is funny. So they're just like reading the beads. Woo! Let's see. Wow. Okay. Let me find the one that goes with it. So then we go to this number here. Okay, here we are. 128. Greetings. It is the 601 Ren you see on the board. It is the 01 Ren Oken Ren. And it goes like this. Cocky Rooster, consulting Eva, was told to sacrifice on account of his constant swearing. Fuck you, he said. Oh! And stars, I told you!
It's in the book.
It's in the book.
It's in the book. It's in the book.
I told her I was going to be cussing tonight. Okay. So he said, fuck you, and strutted off. When hell came suddenly the next day to pound his wives and children on the head, he thought better. And crowed out to the gods. But the only words he could utter were, duh. God damn it. Jesus Christ. Not even the missionary gods answered to this one. Eva says, you better watch your mouth. Eva says, you better quit giving lip. Sacrifice so that your curses do not circle back to strike your own house. So this plays in again with the money too. So what's being suggested is make sure that your relationship with money is also very, very clear.
Okay.
So with the investment on your part and also with the others, because what you don't want to do is have this thing that has is this, it looks really, really beautiful, and then all of a sudden you're like, huh? And you just kind of like walk away, and next thing you know, your money's gone.
Okay.
So make sure you're pursuing your energy towards it.
Okay.
As positive as possible.
Okay.
There we go.
Got it. Okay, so Laura wants to call in?
Yeah, let me call her. She left the room.
She left the room?
Yeah.
Did we send her out?
Sorry, Laura.
It's in the book.
Yes, it is. It really is. It really is. That was Tame, the children of Elegwa, who was my father's spirit. Oh boy. This was nothing.
it's me. Did you want a reading from
Sure.
Tori? Okay.
All right.
The guy is wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. All right.
Want to show on PTN?
Sure.
Terry Perkins is great, I gotta tell you.
Oh my God, thank you.
Because I am just blown away.
Oh my God, cool. I'm gonna do a different take. I'm gonna just do pure psychic, but I'm also gonna use my Orisha.
What?
I'm gonna do a pure psychic reading, so I'm gonna read your numbers. So what I want you to,
Psychic, is that what you said?
Pure psychic.
no, pure psychic reading.
He's not gonna use the shells or the other.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So to show that, again, it's not limited. So
Okay.
when you're in this position, you do whatever, but you honor your saints. So I already have my saints who I'm reading with. That's the Legwa who's on my right, that would be your left. And on my left, your right, is going to be Oshun, she's my mother. So most people have two main guides, and then they have their hosts behind them.
Right.
Okay?
You do, that's right.
All right, cool. All right, so let's have 3 numbers right off the top of your head.
Give you 3 numbers right off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. First thing that comes to your mind. Any combination.
11,
Okay.
7, and 3.
Oh, beautiful. Wow, okay. Your thing here is honoring your power. Do not be afraid of your power. You tend to shrink from your power. A lot of times when you get what you want, you turn the opposite direction and you go right back into the same pattern, and then you beat yourself up.
Okay.
So 11 is a number of mastery. So the thing to do is to keep going with it, meditate, and declare your power, own your power. You are worthy of having every ounce that you have. Nobody can take it from you. No one can take it from you.
I've learned that, yeah.
So own it a little bit more. You need to own this from your heart chakra, I'm seeing, and also you want to own this from your fifth, from your voice. This comes from a past life where you were pretty much butchered.
Ooh.
And what?
You were butchered in a past life during the Renaissance period.
She was killed?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear that, Laura?
Yeah. And so your voice, because you spoke the truth, you were able to read, you read, you saw, you healed, you were very, very powerful. But you didn't see it as being power, you just saw it as, hey, I'm being myself. This is what I do. But everybody around you didn't see that. And so that 7 that's going to equate with the Chariot card, and that's doing the total opposite. So you did a 180-degree turn. So in this life, what you want to do is turn back, go back home. You're fine the way you are. Trust your power, move with it. It is yours. That's your divine right.
And do you know that's what we're doing right now?
Oh my God, cool.
That's what PTM is. I created it.
Oh my God, how beautiful. Yes.
It's evolving in a wonderful place.
Yeah. And what's also great, you have the number 3. You have these ladies here. That is female. That's feminine power. The earth is goddess.
Yes.
So you Christians, sorry. But earth is goddess. It's a spaceship too. You probably don't even believe that, but it is. It's a spaceship. We're on a spaceship.
Is on the 3rd.
Oh, beautiful. Great, great, great. So that's Venus. This is Mother. This is the Great Mother. And in Yoruba, in VooDoo, it's Yemaya. So it's the mother of us all. She's a female part of God who created all life. And the oceans, that's her home. So what you're doing right now is also great because you're also opening up the feminine aspect of the goddess. Because the veil is being lifted, so not to go too deep, but or too way out. But so you're right on target.
Everybody a voice.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives you a voice. It gives you a voice back.
Breathe it.
Absolutely. And that heals you, actually. This actually, not only does it heal you, but it raises your vibration, and so you touch a lot of people around you. And I think it's very important. I tell all my clients, all my female clients this: tap into your power. You are the most powerful beings on the planet. It's female energy.
Right.
Your solar plexus should be running 55%, no less than 55%. Men, we run at 50. And validate your power. You multitask. You have periods. You have babies. You feed a baby with your body. If you have a baby in your arms and you don't have milk, you can make your body milk. What man can do that? Not going to happen. The other thing too is your relationship with the tides and with the moon and what's going on with the earth. Validate that. There's nothing wrong with that. If you feel something's off, it is off. That's your goddess talking to you. That's the voice of the goddess. Ground yourself and then keep yourself as clear as possible. Being near the water is going to be very, very good for you.
Oh, it is. And
yeah.
I'm retiring to the water, believe it or not.
Beautiful. I'm saying you're gonna grow leaps and bounds. You're gonna become one with that body of water.
Oh, I love the water.
Yeah. Oh, every now and again, go down to the water and offer like apples or like fruit.
Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that.
Oh, okay.
I do that.
Because I see that. Yeah.
I do that.
When you do that, you also get make me turn up. You make me
fruits.
Yeah.
Vegetables.
Oh my God.
I offer to spirits. I offer
Beautiful.
water and
Yep.
to my yard, my ground, home. Wow.
Wow. This is cool.
Yeah.
This is cool. Yeah, because I'm getting messages like, yes, and we honor you for doing this because you're showing the example of the beauty of being in the moment and also the beauty, believe it or not, voodoo. You're doing it. That's it. You're honoring the earth.
Will Laura's dream come true? She has a dream and a vision. Will it come true?
Absolutely, because she has the 11 behind her. This is what this is all about. You just need to keep on doing what you're doing. The thing to do is not to lose sight of who you are. Never stop being who you are. And there aren't any bad guys around you this time. You know, we don't have that energy is gone.
They're gone.
Yeah. And so the path is clear.
We regrouped and reformatted and
That's right.
became a corporation, and I followed my goddess senses.
That's right.
And my intuitiveness, and I reached out to people that are Emmy Award winners, that have been in the entertainment industry for years.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking big boys here that deserve a lot of respect, and they believe in what we're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely. You know why? Because they're on the forefront of that. Look at the technology. Technology is pure spirit. You don't get any more. It has some alien components to it, another show, but it does have a lot of spirit. It just has a lot of
Have to form the shows with them, Laura.
We could be two ladies and a dude.
Oh my God!
Two ladies and a dude. That's your show.
Oh no!
Terry, I love your energy.
Thank you.
I love what you do, and I would like to offer you right here in front of everybody, you are welcome to come to PTN and have a show.
Oh my God, thank you. Wow.
Terry.
Wow, thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Oh,
you
wow.
have two beautiful souls.
Absolutely.
You.
Absolutely.
We're absolutely honored to have them on board.
Love it.
Oh my God, we cried. Laura's
Thank you.
We love you, Laura.
Oh,
We love you,
man.
honey.
Okay, honey.
Good night, honey.
She's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Namaste.
Oh, yeah, she's a very true woman. Very true.
Oh my God, great energy.
Yeah.
Really, really sweet.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Oh, you want to do readings now?
Oh, whatever I can do. If you want to talk some more, we'll talk. But whatever.
Okay.
Because I'm sure there's more questions too.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions? Do you want to know more about voodoo? That's what our show was supposed to be about tonight.
But we go off track. We go off track.
That's okay. Off track is good.
We go off
Go
track.
with the flow. Go with the flow. That was very, very cool.
Yeah.
Gosh. Good readings.
All right, well, when you guys think of something, just type it in.